Hello friends, TechManPat here. Today we're going to do a final review of the toolbox from Content Inceptions. Let's talk servers. And of course, thank you very much to Content Inceptions for sending me this entire rack and system for review. I'm really excited to give you a summary of everything that's happened. But if you want to go back and watch the build of both the case and the server inside, check out the links below. They were awesome videos and really fun to make, and I hope really fun to watch. Let's get started by rolling the intro. This is the toolbox from Content Inceptions. This is a 9RU rack for a server. You can fit about 2 servers in there. I want to talk about how it was to build and how it has been modifying or using it since then. So a couple of things to note. It has a door. Now, as mentioned in the previous videos, the door is a little bit hard to open, but I have been promised by Content Inceptions that this has already been fixed. I think I got a bit of an early model, but that's okay. That is the only real issue I found with the actual box there, because at the end of the day it is metal and there are some things you have to give leeway, but I was honestly happy with the entire build. It was pretty quick, I didn't have any issues, and it got put together very easily. The instructions were clear enough for me to follow along. If you put together IKEA furniture in the past, this is actually quite a little bit easier. Now, this toolbox is priced at 195 Australian dollars, and for everything that it comes with, I think that's just the right price, so I'm pretty happy to recommend it. It does come with wheels, it has air vents everywhere you need, and access panels on the sides for you to tinker around. The interesting thing is it does have ways to manage cables. I'll put my cables through the bottom because I'm also using the included wheels to give it some space between the floor, and so I can move it around. Now, of course, not everybody's going to move their servers. This does have the option to mount on a wall, which is really good. So as a case, I can recommend this if you're building something internally at your small business, or even at home if you want to put a Plex server together, or maybe like I have, which is my storage for YouTube videos. And I've managed to fill the 10 in there so far, so I've got a lot of storage to go. So let's talk about the Hoarder, which is inside, and it's the server that I think is probably the most exciting. Now, the setup you can see here is a little bit different than what you might purchase, but I just want to talk about the modifications I've made. Now, it comes with a little shelf that I've actually put up higher above here, and I've used the screws to mount the Hoarder in here because I wanted to hang this Desk Lab screen. It's just a 1080p screen that I've connected to the back of this Hoarder to make this fully transportable and accessible and seeing what actually is happening on the screen. Now, on the Hoarder, I've actually installed TrueNAS, which used to be called FreeNAS, if you either remember that name, but it is basically a free NAS operating system that you can have on any computer. Now, this comes in with the most important part, apart from the case, which is really good, and I'll talk about that in a second, and that's the RAID configuration and RAID card that's in this right here. You can have up to 8 hard drives of any size, 3.5 or even the slim SSDs and whatnot. I do have one SSD in there for reasons only because I have it and I just wanted to put it in. But other than that, you'll be putting in large hard drives. They're really easy to pop out. You can just pop them out and push them back in, and they go in really easily. Sometimes there's a bit of metal they have to push around, but overall, I'm really impressed with how well it's built. And once everything is in, it is very heavy. Just to note, you're not going to be taking this off like so. It's best to actually put it on its back before you unscrew these. From the front, we've got a couple of USBs. I use one for a wireless keyboard to access this terminal if I ever need to, but because TrueNAS has a web access portal, I don't really need to. The screen is there to tell me if there are any errors currently happening. The fans out front have already captured some dust, but there is a dust filter in the front that you can vacuum up pretty easily. And of course, there are perforations in the front panel here to actually bring air in, and on the bottom and on the top. So this is a well ventilated case. At the back of here, I've got nothing else, but I can mount more of these Hoarders, which I am actually considering having 2 in here because one could actually do something else, but you can obviously do what you want. This is as custom as it gets. One thing I would recommend is buying more of these screws that go into the actual RU unit. It's really easy. It's cents on the dollar off eBay, but I would recommend getting a few more if you're going to be adding extra things in there. Now, how did I feel about building the Hoarder? Well, I really liked it. It has a pull-out case from the back of it. Unscrew a few screws and you can access your entire PC system that's in there. It is accessible to parts that are generally available by your general consumer. You don't have to be buying server parts to put into the Hoarder. This Hoarder is made for your old parts that you want to reuse or you have no use for anymore, and you can find a use by building a storage server like this. Now the RAID card is priced in at $180, and this Hoarder case with the RAID setup right here, obviously separate from the RAID card, priced in at $480, excluding the parts you need to fill it with things like hard drives and PC parts, power supply, and so on. That'll have to be supplied by you. So at the end of the day, it is a case for $480, and that seems rather expensive, but that RAID setup is what makes this very special. But what's more is the ease and use of building in this case. Obviously, when the back gets pulled out, you have access to everything from the top, but when you're doing any modifications of adding things, going back to it and getting at the back is really easy. You just pull it out, it's like a drawer, and that makes it quite special compared to other cases. So simply put, who is this for? Well, like I mentioned, it's for your small business or at-home enthusiast who wants to build a server from old parts. This gives you a very secure box. You can lock it if you want to, but I don't mean secure. I mean secure from a point of view of things not hitting your actual server. Obviously, it's protected by this rack, and of course, it means it's portable if you're using the wheels, and you can hang it if you want to. I don't imagine somebody at home would, but you can. What this provides is a one-stop shop area for your server that you can move around. If you're moving home, you can just grab this and put it on the back of a truck. You don't have to stress about a little case that whatever hits it, maybe you've got glass panels on the side. And you know what I was thinking the other day? You could potentially put a very powerful PC on here and use it as a media player. You could not have to use this case right here, and you can put this inside the drawer of, let's say, a unit under a TV. There's a lot of options that you can do, but I would say that this configuration is probably the best. Now, having this at the bottom is suggested by one of the commentators on the past videos, just to keep the center of gravity and the weight right at the bottom so things don't tip, and that has actually been a really good tip, so thank you very much for that. I'm going to be doing a lot more projects with this, so stay tuned. I've got a project lined up with a new attachment that's very exciting, so make sure to like this video and subscribe to see and be notified of that one. But overall, I think this is a fantastic product. I think this is quite pricey at $480, but you know what, you are getting something quite unique. It is a niche, and at the end of the day, if you've already got spare parts lying around, another $480 to build a full-on server that you can utilize to store and put movies on Plex, whatever you might be wanting to do. You can also, once you install TrueNAS, there's so many options, but you can of course just install Windows on it. You will be very happy with this product. So big thanks to Content Inceptions for sending me this package for review. It has been absolutely fantastic to get back into building PCs. It has been a while. I do really enjoy it. It's like Lego for adults. And of course, like I said, it's a big recommendation from me for those specific people, enthusiasts at home that have some spare parts lying around. If you like this video, then make sure to tap the like button. I will see you all in the next one. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let me know your thoughts below. Obviously, I'll link all the links to Content Inception's website for all the parts used here in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all later. Bye.